I think it's because we were all on mute. No, people are logging in, just everyone's muted.
On mute. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I didn't realize what time it was, so you guys don't even have music. Oh no. Oh, can't believe I missed it. Well, we still have about 2.5 minutes, so. Yeah, there we go. Awesome, awesome. Look at, we got all these fun faces on here. And all these people are on here because they're ready to talk to you, Lynn, to ask questions, to learn all the rights and wrongs of the real estate industry.
Don't say too much, they'll disappear really fast.
My team all have Lynn on speed dial on their phones.
I believe that might be true.
Lynn, what team gives you more calls than mine?
Not many.
None. I'm
That's
gonna blame it. I'm gonna blame it on the numbers, the volume,
Oh.
and the number of agents. That's my blame.
That's okay. I want to
I'm
hear
not gonna-
about
I'm
your
not
silver
gonna-
shoe.
I'm not gonna accept the responsibility either.
Okay, I got a kick out of the silver shoe thing yesterday.
We give the silver shoe away every 6 months on our team for the past many years, 10 years.
Is that Shane?
That is Shane. Somebody recognize that voice.
I'm like, he's never on the team meeting.
Jason made that silver shoe out of one of his very own Chuck Taylors.
Oh, I lost my, where is everything? There we are. Goodness, okay. And present. And We're just, okay, it looks like we are there. Maybe me morning off, and I'm gonna hit share. And I'm gonna go to, I think it's this one. Does everybody see the, I don't know what color you call that, the screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's quickly make this bigger. All right, look at all these friendly faces. This is awesome. All right, next time I'm doing music. Okay, real quick before we start, show of hands. How many people on here are going to family reunion? Get those hands up, wave those hands. Well, there's some hands waving. I see some hands on that screen. I'm going to switch screens. All right, well, it's not too late. You can still get your tickets, and actually, I was able to find a couple of rooms. So if you do sign up and decide that you are going and want to stay at the Hilton with, I think there's right now about 7 of us. You can shut it. Thank you. Let me know, because I can probably possibly get a few more rooms. So should be a great event and much better weather than this.
It's in Orlando, Greg.
Come along, Greg. All right, gratitude. Who has got some gratitude that they want to share? Who's going to kick us off? Come on, I know there's got to be somebody in there. Oh, Beth is sitting, it looks like in an airport possibly. So Beth, if there's no gratitude for, are you sitting in an airport? Oh, all right. Beth, that
Yeah, I am.
I want to say thank you to Carrie, because Carrie, no matter how busy she is, and we all know how extremely busy she is, whenever you need something or have a question that might take a little extra time, she just sets things aside and makes you feel like the most important person at that moment and helps you get through whatever you need. And I just want to say how much I value that in our MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll help you with your math anytime.
I need help
You're
with my
here.
math.
Thank you. Who else?
Hi, this is Sharline Vaz with the Vaz Harwood team. I am extremely grateful that Larissa, who is on our team, is slowly on the mend. Guys, if you all haven't seen her post, she was rushed to the hospital by ambulance on Saturday, and she's been diagnosed with Addison's disease. If anyone, if you guys can just send, if you all have a phone number, feel free to text her. She is bored. She's absolutely bored, and she's looking forward to just chatting with someone or just texting with people. So please send her a quick email or a text. I'm just grateful that we have doctors who, and Regions Hospital, who literally made room for her despite being so packed. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us, Sherline. We'll keep her in our prayers. I will jump in. I'm just grateful for, super grateful for family. If you saw my post this weekend, I had 4 kids, and there was nothing better than always having everybody at the house. We were always the house people came to. And it's been kind of lonely, got to be honest. This new empty nesting thing is just kind of lonely. And I had my grandson again and all his buddies over, and oh my God, it was so much fun. I love listening to a bunch of sweaty boys talk about the stuff that they do. It's just, it is amazing. It's so funny. And they don't care. Grandma's right there, and they just include her in all the conversations. And I'm like, you'll love you guys. So just super grateful for family. What else? Who else do we got?
I'll go. I actually have 2 people that I'm grateful for. I am grateful for Renee. She is just a fabulous lender. Sorry, Raina, not Renee. She'll laugh at me because I do that all the time. I don't know why my brain does it. She's a wonderful lender, constantly keeping in contact, even when things aren't necessarily happening with the client in the transaction. And then the other 2 people that I would like to thank is Shannon Janko and Brooke Boss for just being my accountability partners. So there we go.
Awesome. Love those Three Musketeers.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Who else? Anyone else?
Raina, huge shout out to Raina. She helped us with one of the most difficult transactions I think all of us have been in, and just is so good at keeping me calm in stressful situations. And she's just the best. So thank you, Raina.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, you guys. You're too sweet.
Awesome. We do have great partners.
See, I wanted to, good morning, everyone. I wanted, on behalf of the KW Commercial Division, just wanted to thank everyone for the referrals. I know the commercial market's tough right now, trying to find property, trying to respond quickly. So it's been really tough, but I know just this last week, Shelley Kohler, we were able to close on her father's land. I know the Odd Couple and Paul Olson, we had a couple of transactions where we were able to get $1.8 million property sold. And then another property that we actually partnered with KW Commercial out of Wayzata, and they helped us as well. So thank you for the referrals. I appreciate it. I have too many people to thank, so I can't do it individually, but we do appreciate it. And we're working on being as responsive and update you as possible. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chad.
This is Lauren. I want to thank Carrie for always being there no matter what. I've been sick lately, and so she's just always checking in on me. And then for being there for any of my questions, because I just passed my real estate exam yesterday. So I am now official for the most part, but she was there to help with everything and all my questions. So I really appreciate her very, very much.
Thank you. We love you. I appreciate all of my leadership team. You guys are amazing. All right. Anyone else before we move along? All right, here we go. There we go. All right. Hopefully you guys saw this. How awesome is this? Who you are in business with definitely matters. This is something great. If you're looking at using the KW Prep and looking to grow your downline and bring agents in, this is a great thing that you can be posting. But I mean, an amazing article. If you have not read it, go in and read about it. Gary Keller as the most powerful person in real estate. So we have an amazing person who is supporting us and who is behind us and making those things for us. It was a great article. So definitely go in and check that out. All right, again, save the date. There will be much more, but we do know now that if you are a game player, if you like to compete, again, be sure then now to put this on your calendar if you haven't already, because there will be some fun activities where you will win prizes. But again, 3/16/22, put it on your calendar, green tie event. And we hope to see everybody at our annual Rosie Awards. And there will be continue to be more and more. We'll get little things will start getting mailed out about the event as well. And now we open it up to our friend Lynn. All right, Lynn, you still there? Oh no, look, she walked away. Where are you, Lynn? We need you. Here she comes running. Don't forget to unmute yourself. There we go.
Okay, Carrie, how do I share my screen?
Hold on 2 seconds. I just gotta find my little thing. No share. And you should. Do you have anything at the very bottom of your screen that allows you to share? That says share screen? Go ahead and click on that.
Cool, cool. All right, but I didn't think it would look like this. So give me a second.
So, yeah, once you click on it, it'll show you the different screens. Then you click on the one that you're hoping to share.
There we go. All right, I put this into printed
Carrie,
pages.
you have to stop sharing your screen first. There. Oh, there we go. You're good.
Did it work?
Are we good? All right, so I was asked to step in and just do a moment on compliance. I put a lot of information together. I'm gonna send it to Jordan to send out. So if there's no questions, we can go kind of quick, but I want to make sure you have a chance to ask questions too. The first thing when we say compliance, we're talking about what the DOC, the Department of Commerce requires, and what NAR requires. Advertising with the DOC has changed. When I took over this job, it was, the logo had to always be bigger than anything else. Now it just has to be conspicuously displayed. But that means it's going to be a close second. Our logo is long and skinny, and most of your team logos are more like this. So we're not looking for ink coverage, but they have to be fairly equal. Team names have to be authorized by the broker. This is not just us being picky. This is what the DOC requires. You really need to use the word team in your name. Maybe group. NAR is pushing away from group. So if you're starting a new team, I would really recommend using the word team. The DOC does not acknowledge KW as the logo. It has to be the full logo with our full name. And you have to put each office is independently owned and operated.
Lynn, can I jump in real quick?
Yep.
Can you share with us, when putting together a team name, what words are not acceptable or cannot be in that team name? I know there's a few of them.
Realty, real estate, anything that's going to make it sound like a brick and mortar building. It has to sound like a team of people, not a location.
So what about properties?
That's really iffy.
Okay.
We've kind of let that one slide a little bit, but it's got to, the whole name together has to sound like a group of people.
Mhm.
And if you read the NAR or the articles from NAR, I think they're going to do away with the word group.
Okay. All right, thank
So
you.
I wouldn't recommend starting with that. When you're doing a mass mailing, you have to make sure you put in there that this is not an attempt to solicit the clients of another brokerage. I know everyone online is seeing the golden letters, and our team does postcards. You're welcome to mail out 200 to something, cover a neighborhood, whatever, as long, and even if it goes to a house that's listed, it's not a violation as long as you have that line in there. If you do not have that line in there, it's an ethics violation.
Lynn, does it have to be exactly that line, or can it convey the similar?
It can convey.
Okay.
What does yours say, Nora?
Ours says not intended as a solicitation if you are under contract with another agent or brokerage.
Okay, you could shorten that because no one's under contract with an agent. It's always the brokerage.
Okay.
Remember, every contract's owned by the broker.
Yeah, well, that's why we had or brokerage, because if you're talking to like Susie Q on the street, she says she's under contract with the agent. So we tried to keep it easy for,
Totally understand. And then NAR says you have to use the equal housing and the RMLS logos on everything also. Social media, my husband says that I'm a stalker. You guys, I don't mean to be, but you really gotta up your game on being compliant with social media. Ideally, you have a business page and a personal page separate. If you're using it all in one, make sure it's all compliant. Your business, you cannot take your realtor hat off. I picked on my team. This is how we try to keep it compliant. We literally have the whole compliance piece as our main photo. So you're always one click away. I can't click on this. And then we watermark it on the posts. Not every post, sometimes it's like, hey, so-and-so closed today. Yeah. And then it's up here and it's one click away. If it's something that I what do they call it? Water stamp, watermark it in the corner somewhere. But it's got the team logo. It's got the company logo. It's got each office is independently owned and operated, and it's got the other little logos. I would argue that my logo is bigger than the KW logo, but they're both very conspicuous. I'm not hiding the KW. It's not down here in the corner. Any questions? So social media, one click. I do not know how to TikTok. I do not know how to tweet. We are working on this. But even those, one click. There's nothing that says the company logo has to be there, but the full wordage does. Keller Williams Integrity Realty. Okay. I'm old school. I still put listings on Craigslist. I literally have got one block of a JPEG that has all the compliance in it that I use as one of my photos. It's one click away, because a site like Craigslist doesn't let you upload photos or upload logos and be that creative. So we went in and made one JPEG that is just for compliance. And it's one of the photos on the ad. We use this method on other things too. Anytime where you can upload a photo, but you can't maybe upload individual logos. We've just used this block. And this was nothing fancy. I don't even know how Greg did it, okay? All right. Other things that you have to have the full brokerage name in is your voicemail. So when I call and it says, hey, this is Mary, da, 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 and you say Keller Williams and you forget the Integrity Realty, you're out of compliance. Please listen to your own voicemails today and make sure you say the full brokerage name. Keller Williams Integrity Realty. You do not work for Keller Williams. You are not in Texas. I wish I was today.
So if it's a team, so do you have your team?
Keller Williams Integrity Realty, your home team.
Okay.
It's a lot to spit out. I don't bother with the team name. Some teams though that will have a problem with that. I'm more worried about the compliance piece than the team recognition. If they're calling me, that's awesome. But you need to know where I work. Email signature, here again, the logo's optional. You don't have to have a fancy email signature, but you do have to have the full brokerage name, your full name, and state what state you're licensed in. Okay. It's like mine says broker MN and WI under my name. You need to identify your brokerage name, your name, and what state you're licensed in. I'm going as fast as I can here. So anyone who has questions, just ask. I've tried to put together things that come up continuously with phone calls.
This is good.
Open house signs. If you go to SPAR, the ones you see the picture of there, that's what they sell. They're totally generic. They do not have anything on them. That's fine. They can be unbranded. The minute you put your name on there, or sometimes people will try to put the logo in the arrow, now you're out of compliance. Now you need everything. You need that full compliance piece. Okay, so I know I've got some little step-in arrows for in the winter that I think I probably bought at Lowe's or Home Depot that say open house, just because I don't like putting big signs out in snowbanks. They're totally fine, but you can't start customizing them. They're either totally generic or they're totally compliant. There's no in between. Okay. This is a little bit, okay, I kind of went all over the place, to be honest. I just tried to brainstorm on the things that keep coming up. Withholds coming soon, active and TNAS. Is there any questions on that?
I would just kind of go over them again, because I do see it. I mean, we saw it this weekend.
Yep.
I do see a lot of questions, and I think just to cover it again and hopefully open up that door.
Withhold means it's not yet advertised on the MLS or anywhere. That means your Facebook page, people, that an agent outside of our brokerage or the public can see. If you put it on the Rockstar Facebook page, that's fine. That's internal. That's just our office. You cannot have a sign yet. You can show it and market it with the brokerage. I think this is a goofy rule, but it is the rule we have to live by. Coming soon. Now you can't show it to anyone, but you can advertise the heck out of it. You only have 21 days. So when your client calls you on day 20 and says, I need another week, you're going to be TNAS. You can't stay coming soon, but you can continue to market it. Active. Anytime it's active, it has to be available for showings. If there's a 24-hour period where they're not available, it needs to be TNAS. I've had people call and say, well, my clients have COVID. Do I have to take the house off the market? You don't have to cancel it. You just have to go TNAS and stop the showings. You can even put in the agent comments if you clients approve that it's close, you know, we're sick at this house type thing. Sometimes we'll have spring weddings, graduations, whatever. If people want the house off the market for a weekend, it needs to be TNAS. All right. I tried to put just a quick list of like the things I'm constantly turning files back for. You probably can't picture these lines, but you're going to understand the statement. Property taxes, they're either homestead or they're not. Who's going to pay the difference? You leave it blank. How's your title company know who to charge? So if I see on the MLS that it's non-homestead and you haven't marked anything, I'm going to call it out. I try not to be nitpicky and call it out if it's clearly homestead. But if it's not, your title company needs direction on who's going to pay it. This one I see a lot, and I get calls after closing on this one. These are not good calls. That the seller, on line 241, it asks if there's any notice of upcoming improvements. This could be as simple as sidewalk repairs, or it could be as big as city sewer and water. Sellers tend to not respond to that question because they think if they don't say anything, they didn't say anything wrong. And agents tend to leave it open because they want the seller to respond. You got to make sure that there's something checked there. Okay, because after the fact, when your client gets a bill and the seller says, well, I didn't say I had nothing, it's really hard to argue. The rights of tenants and others, it's just my personal preference. I put none and none. I keep picturing the 35-year-old who's got a lease for the basement living off pizza boxes, and your new buyer moves in and they have a lease. My son used to work with REOs and they'd go to do foreclosure evictions. And if someone had a valid lease, it totally changed the process on how to do the eviction. So I think that's important to identify that there's no tenants and tenants have no rights. Someone could be renting out a room. If they've got a lease, that lease stays in place and that tenant gets to live in that room, even with your new buyer. And it might not pop up during the offer. Dual agency, if yes, then that's the answer. Agents tend to mark, well, someone's doing seller side, someone's doing buyer side, and we're both dual agents. You can't mark everything. And if it's dual agent, you can't mark that you're just the buyer or seller. If it's dual agent, it's dual agent. FIRPTA, you got to get it answered or I'm going to send it back. That's a 15% sales tax on the purchase price that stays with the house, not with the seller. So it has to be marked. How the law reads is that if we do our due diligence and in all good consciousness, no one believed that the seller had that obligation, the IRS is supposed to waive it. Make sure you get that answered. If you're related to a client, it needs to be on the initial purchase agreement. It cannot be Lynn catches it afterwards and you put it on an amendment. That is an ethics violation. Even if you do the amendment, it is an ethics violation if someone wants to pursue it. You have to let people know that you have, the idea is that you might have more motivation for negotiations if you're related to the person. And you have to disclose that at the beginning of negotiations, not afterwards. Okay. Lead-based paint addendum, just have your buyers make a selection on page 1, people. That is horrid to have send back for initials and check boxes. Property disclosure alternatives. I know I look at it and I assume, well, they wouldn't have done this if they didn't check the waiver box. I sent one back last week. The people came back, oh no, we don't want the waiver box. We want the inspection we had done ahead of time added in. Totally changed any kind of recourse in the future that might come from that sale. Sellers have to make a selection on page 1. A well is always a well. You can't say you don't have a well, but it's sealed. Okay, and I know we can't fill out disclosures for sellers. We do not want to go down that road. But when you see that they've made an error, you can educate them. And if they still insist they don't have a well, then so be it. That's what they signed. But your title company is going to need information on that well. The health department needs to know if it's really sealed. Your client needs to know if they're buying a house that's sealed or not sealed. Another one I see is variable rate commission. When you're filling out your MLS input for the front desk.
Hey, Lynn, quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry, on the well. So in Minnesota, a well either has to be in working order or sealed, correct?
It's possible it's just abandoned, but then that's acknowledged at closing and the buyer's assuming that.
Okay, so it'll still close if it's abandoned and not sealed. Okay.
Yep.
Thank
So
you
if
for
it's
clarification.
abandoned, different jurisdictions, different areas will start penalizing you on your property taxes until you correct it.
Okay. It'll
there's-
close, but ultimately it has to be either the state wants it sealed or they want it
Or working.
working. Yep. Okay.
Yep. So a variable
that-
rate commit, go ahead.
Can I
What?
ask a question about that? Could that affect a loan though, or the lender process? If it's abandoned well?
It could. If you sent your disclosures to your lender.
Okay, thanks.
Lynn,
Variable,
before you pop forward, I'm gonna just kind of catch up really quick. We have a couple questions. One of them was back with the TNAS. Beth was asking if you go TNAS temporarily, can you still sell within our brokerage? Like, does it revert back to withhold rules?
nope. No one can show it.
So you'd have to go back to active.
You have to be back to active.
Okay, perfect. And then Shannon, oops. Sorry, it's jumping ahead. Shannon Janko was asking, what if your relationship to seller is in the MLS? So that would be back.
It has to be on the purchase agreement according to NAR.
Perfect. All right, we are caught up.
But Shannon, sometimes that's how I catch it. The other way is some of our agents have very unique last names, and when the buyer or seller has the same last name, I just question it. If you don't, I mean, I run a family team and none of us have the same last name. So I can't catch it every time. I saw that laugh, Matt. You know, everyone got married. All right, so variable rate, when you put in your listing contract that if I sell the house and list the house, I'll take less of a commission. That is a variable rate. You have to put that, yes, variable rate on the MLS input so the front desk knows to do it. And you're responsible for that. Okay. If you say no, and you get into tight negotiations and you are representing a buyer, and now suddenly the seller goes, well, you know, if you could take 1% off the commission, why don't you get both sides? That's fine, but you have to say time out. All agents have to be notified that it is now a variable rate. Do they want to change their offer? And then you proceed. Variable rates can have a lot to do with multiple offers, and this spring, definitely. And I get very nasty phone calls when one of our teams or agents have double-ended a deal and they didn't get their offer accepted and the MLS says no. I've had agents want proof that the client still paid a full commission. Okay, so just avoid that. I'll be honest, I put every listing's a variable commission on my team. I put Y for every single listing because I know when it gets down and dirty, I'm going to negotiate. I'm a control freak and I want both sides of that deal. So I just know I will. Line 13, come on, people, when you write a listing contract, you got to put a price in and the price has to match the MLS. I think what happens is the agents do the listing contract 2 months before they actually go active, and then you turn in the MLS input with a different price. It's got to be the same, and it's got to match the MLS. Not that it can't change from when you sign the contract to when you go active, but it has to match. I don't know if Jordan's watching. Jordan made me a pretty little sheet like this, but I couldn't go in and make changes, and we had a whole bunch of them added. But especially the admins that are on here, if you know I'm missing one, I would sure like to have it. These are the cities, the type of inspection, type of properties, and who to call. If there's no one on the who to call, it's because it's like your normal home inspector can do it. If they're approved with the city, they'll know if they're approved to do a TISH inspection or not. I use Structure Tech usually if I need a TISH. But if you're in Golden Valley is the only one that needs a sump pump inspection. I just closed one in Golden Valley and I had to get them back out there to do the sump pump before we could close. The inflow infiltration, most of the cities, they're good for a few years. That sump pump has to be done with every sale. I got clients flipping a house there right now and they're going to have it redone. This is pretty straightforward. I think we're all pretty used to this. So please, if there's any that I'm missing, because some of these are areas we just don't do a lot in. Like Howard Lake made the list because I had a listing in Howard Lake and got, hey, you didn't get this done yet? And we had to have it done like fast. We do have a couple agents that sell up in Duluth. That was a new one. Newport was a new one.
Newport is one word.
Okay. All right. When you call, I don't expect anyone to actually know these, but I actually keep these on the computer in my office, the computer at home, the front desk, we maybe need to update because this one updated. Every real estate law are between these two. So when you ask me like, what can you do for, advertising? And I say, well, it's a statute. There it is. It's actually pretty easy reading and they all have a directory in the front. So if it's an advertising question, it'll tell you, go to chapter 82 dot whatever. Carrie, I put this one in here for you. I heard that you want to purge some old records. We only have to keep records for 6 years.
Perfect.
Okay, and that's the statute that tells us that. So it's not gray, it's black and white. The IRS might need them longer, Carrie, but DOC only needs them 6 years.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Legal companion, this is actually taking the statutes and really putting them out into plain English, but it's a lot to read, but it's really easy reading. Not that anyone wants to read it, but if you have a simple question, these, I'm not a genius. This is where I go. These two websites. If the interpretation is difficult, the legal hotline's really good at helping simplify it down to easier terms to understand. That's a resource as a broker I have. Another one that comes up is people's names, nicknames. This is literally out of the Legal Companion. As an example of how you can do a nickname. Okay, people sometimes go by their middle name. Some people totally go by a different name. If it's totally a different name, you do need to do what is it, a DBA, doing business as, and file it with the state. If you're just simply using a nickname, you don't have to go through all that, but these are the only formats they will accept. And this is the DOC. So when Jordan's doing business cards, this is the only formats they'll accept. Okay. I got a blank page. I didn't know how to do it. This form, everyone should have signed when they onboarded. I know we've had some personnel change. I'm not sure that we still are doing
We do.
this.
Yes, we do.
Okay. This kind of lays it out. But please, if you have a question, I'm pretty fast at looking at something and telling you if it's compliant or not. When you go online and you buy things through some of these red vendors that look all KWE, remember they're KWE for a national branding, not for Minnesota. And Minnesota is one of the toughest ones for advertising and branding. So let me have a quick peek. Really, these are the only things I'm looking for. If this is all you get out of today, you did great. Okay, that is our logo. KW is not. KW on top of this is not. This is the logo. I should probably show you something my brother did quick. I meant to have this on here.
While you're looking for that, Lynn, all these things that you just went over with everyone, is it
Yep.
something you can send me? Could I send it out to people? I just think it's
Yep.
a great point of just little, like you said, things that you continue to see. So I'll send that out to everybody after the meeting so that you all have that just as a quick little reference. And again, but if you're still questioning it, obviously always reach out to Lynn.
Yep, and then here we just simply put the little, I don't know why there's a cloud there. We put the little Fair Housing RMLS, the logo, and each office independently owned and operated, all as one piece. That if one of our agents is doing something, it's super easy to just drop that in. You're not having to piece it together. I have a graphics background. I'll tell you, it drives me crazy that these are on this side and that big, but whatever. It's compliant. So I tend to do them in 3 pieces. But you can make some of this easy for yourself. I can include that when I send things out. I don't know if anyone I'm not the best at social media. I got a feeling Nora could teach a class on this way better than me. But this is through that lighter side of real estate, and they let you just do this. Any questions? Anything, Carrie, you think I missed?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I, always trolling Facebook and Zillow and everything for sale by owners. And one thing with the whole coming soon craziness that's been going on, how is it just completely out of our hands as far as when a seller is listing their home on
Totally
Facebook
out of our
or Zillow?
hands.
So I've sent like 1 or 2 emails like, hey, do you know that your house is also listed for sale by owner on, but there's nothing that an agent can do, right? Nothing.
I had to have that conversation this morning. That's why you're seeing the smirk on my face.
Oh.
When it's coming soon, Zillow does not pull in open houses. Okay, and I'm not active on one of my listings till Friday with an open house Sunday. And my client is like, well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? So that everyone knows we have an open house Sunday. And it's like, ideally nothing. You hired me. And agents can see this. So we can educate, we can help clients, we can remind them that's why they hired us, but we cannot, we're not their jail keepers. All right. I use this more than you would think. I would do something like this for every agent because it's so easy to just plop it in a photo spot. And there's so many opportunities for online marketing that I don't know of too. And when it's all put together and all the compliance is one piece, I use that more than I thought I would. I don't even have my contact information on there because wherever it's landing is already marketing. It's just for compliance. Voicemail, please listen to it. Email signatures, please listen to it. What happens is I'm not going to catch everything. If you catch someone in our office though, please, you're not tattling. We're just policing each other and making sure each other knows. But what happens is as you get more successful, other agents turn you in. It's not the public that turns you in, it's other agents. The public might have complaints. They usually call the brokerage before they call the DOC. There's a lot more than this, but this was a good start. And Jordan maybe can help me make this print right. I am not Excel. All right, I'm done, Carrie.
Okay, can you just hit stop share for me on your, at the bottom?
All right.
Perfect. And then I'll go back.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you so much, Lynn. That was wonderful. I think we had a lot of great stuff. There's been a lot of chat, and I still make sure that there's been a lot of chatting as we've kind of gone through everything. And so watch for some good classes to be coming. That's going to cover a lot of these things when it comes to the marketing, the email signatures, the graphics. We're going to try and get here in the next, I'd like to do them here in the next week or two. So really watch for that. And especially for our newer agents, just make sure that you are a part of that. All right. Any questions for Lynn?
Carrie, was this session recorded?
It is. I think I did it correctly, so I'm gonna say it is.
I'm hoping to get a copy of this sent to Amy.
To Amy, did you say?
Yes.
Well, what I will do, Shane, is we have a wonderful place called Roseville Connect where we keep all those recordings. So I will send it out to Amy and let her know. I'll send her the link so she can go in and grab it. They're usually up within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours at the most.
You know,
Thank
without picking on anyone, there's some amazing social media commercial type things out there that need to have the full brokerage logo.
No, thank you. All right. Next, we have our partner, Mark Svihel. Mark, are you out there?
I'm here. Hello, Carrie.
Hello. Do you want to, do you have these same slides? Do you want to take control, or do you want me, just kind of give me a look and I will switch slides when you're ready?
Oh, well, yeah, if you have a it's probably just easiest for you, if that's okay with you.
No problem.
All right. Yeah, so hello, everybody. I'm Mark. A lot of you I know, some of you I don't. I wanted to talk a little bit about Movement Mortgage. You know, we all kind of get a, 30-year fixed rate loan. Can we do this loan? Great, we can do this loan. And I just kind of wanted to, I thought, what really sets Movement apart? I mean, I think Movement does as good of a job as anybody, technology-wise. I think getting a loan from A to Z, but what really sets us apart? And I thought, I'm kind of slow to the game a little bit and telling people, Movement stands for a lot more than just mortgage. I would welcome any of you to go out and Google Movement Mortgage, Google Casey Crawford, our CEO, Google Movement Schools. I just wanted to get into a little bit of that today. And this is just kind of a, whatever. The second part, the things we do for others remain as our legacy. And Casey, our CEO, and everybody at Movement really tries to live that. And it's really what our company is about. So the second one talks about, well, a lot of companies talk about, photo ops, hey, we give a $10,000 check to this, or, we'll go do that, or, we'll put some sandwiches in a bag and, take some pictures and drive home. But the Movement Mortgage has built a school, and we have plans of building 4 more. We have 3 schools that are already in process. We have a school that's currently operated that opened just this last fall in Charlotte, North Carolina. These schools are being built in probably areas that, maybe need them a little bit more than most. And if I just kind of back up just a little bit to our mission, a lot of people don't realize that Movement Mortgage was created so our profits don't go back to stocks or dividends or they go back to creating long-term, positive impacts in communities. And that's what Casey Crawford stands for. It's why I'm at Movement Mortgage. Excuse me, I'm battling just a little bit of a voice thing today. Maybe we could go to the next one. I think that's a little bit too far down, Carrie. If we go to maybe how it works slide, I think it was the number 4. Well, we can talk about this one. Well, here's the one about Movement Schools. So Movement Schools is a free public charter school network committed to teaching world-class academics and virtues in areas where families have historically lacked access to education options. So like I said, we're not just talking about it, we're doing it. We're opening schools, we're helping underserved communities. And I just think it's a really, really, really big deal. And it's kind of a near and dear thing to me that, you could read it here, we're helping 1,000 young children, with a free chartered school education that in my opinion, I just really truly hope that these kids will be a little bit better off with our help in getting them off to a good start. So again, it's what we're about. I can probably go back and send you this whole slideshow. I can email it to people. But again, we're not locked in. The basic gist is, excuse me, we're not locked into corporate profits. We have no investors. We have no stock prices to succumb to. We pay our people. We value our people. We invest in technology. And when there's profits left over, we're investing it back into the community. One slide I wouldn't mind you finding, Carrie, is we have $200 million earmarked towards this, right? I think it's right here, Carrie. Thank you. So our Movement Foundation donates 100% of their profits to the community, okay? 2020, over 200 million was reinvested back into the community. That's 200 million. If you let that number sink in, it cost us $12 million to build the school in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're building schools in Houston, Dallas, Texas, and our fingers are crossed. There's one coming to Minneapolis very soon. So, excuse me, kind of losing my voice just a little bit. But that's pretty much it, Carrie. That's all I had. That's the main gist of what I wanted people to know, that, movement is about more than just mortgages. It's about, really giving back.
You're on mute.
Yeah, so, this slide, yeah, again, I can send this out. I maybe play that. I've watched so many different videos. Will that play for you?
Let me try it here real quick. Oh, shoot, I didn't. Hold on. 2 seconds. I don't think the volume is going to be set up for everybody to hear it.
I have this video. I'll send it to people if they want it, if they'd like to reach out, hear more. This stuff is on Google, or I'm sorry, this is a YouTube. So if you want to actually see the school and see some of the children, it's pretty cool stuff.
Mark, we did have a question from Steve, was asking about VA loans and anything that you guys do with the rules and regs.
Yeah, we follow VA guidelines. VA is VA. We don't do anything different, more special. We follow VA guidelines. First time use, if it's somebody who has a disability, we can, waive funding fees just like anybody else. We process them, gather documents, get their certificate of eligibility, DD 214, and process that loan just like anybody else. We don't do it, I don't think, any different than anybody does.
Thank you. Any questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark. That, I mean, it was great to know that. I think that's interesting information for everyone to know on movement and what you guys stand for and kind of what you're backing. So we appreciate you sharing all of that with us. And I can definitely too, either reach out to Mark or myself and I can send you that slideshow. If anybody would like to have that and hear, see the rest of that video.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Oh, I do have a question for, either it came up and it just says interest rates with a question mark.
Oh, current rates. Oh, back to business. It's all going to depend upon down payment, right? Are you doing a 5% down 680 credit score? Or are you doing 20% down 800 credit score? I mean, I would say for the
How
best.
about just like
rate,
FHA, VA?
3.5. You know, if I was forced to kind of cover the gamut, you know, you could probably get something at 3.3, 3.2, but FHA 3.5, I would say.
Any other questions for Mark? Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mark. We appreciate it as always. Oh, look at Sherilyn said, Mark, you look very handsome today.
Well, thank you. I don't feel so great. I think a COVID test, unfortunately, is in my, I hate to say it, but it's in my near future. I have a terrible sore throat and I do have a headache. So you won't be seeing me in the office in the near future.
I appreciate all the information you gave because I was going to ask you, sit down and talk to you about what movement had to offer. So thank you. I probably will give you a call later. Okay. Hang in there.
Shirley.
And I'm so sorry that you're sick, but hang in there and you look fabulous in black.
Okay. Thank you.
I was gonna say he looks kind of priestly.
Kind of priestly.
I'm sweating bullets. I'm hot right now. I'll probably have a fever too.
We just need a white collar for you. You look like an Irish priest, right, Mr. Hyland?
He could be in running for that. Yes, he could.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He could probably close the meeting with a little prayer.
All right. Do we have any needs and wants? Who do we have for coming soon? Looking for open house help? What do we looking to help hold an open house? What do we have? Anybody have anything?
I've got something.
Awesome, John.
So if anyone has any investors that are looking for a property, I have something that's a interesting situation that I don't have an exact price point on. It is a property that currently has a renter under Section 8 in North Minneapolis. So it is I'm sure, a very hot in demand property. It does cash flow well. I have not been inside it yet, and I will be inside it as the tenants will have a negative COVID test in the next couple of days. But just beginning right now, but if you have any investors that might be looking, I expect this to be a high 200s. It is a pretty nice property, but give me a shout because I'm looking to do this private market as opposed to listing it online. That's all.
Thank you. That was John Oneman. And
I have
remember, if you guys are ever trying to reach out when you hear someone talk and you don't know how to get a hold of them, remember, if you go to Roseville Connect, there is an area where you can go in and it will have all the emails and phone numbers for all of the agents within our market center. So if you did need to reach out to someone and couldn't get one of us to, share that with you, just hop onto rosevilleconnect.com and there is a complete list of all agents currently active in our market center, phone number and email. All right, I think I heard someone else jumping in.
It was me, 550 and under, maybe on a lake, maybe with something half acre or larger. The outside space is very, very important. That's where we're tripping up. Just so it's a nice house, they're really flexible on the house. If anyone has something that they think's got a little ooh and ah for the outside, I'd love to hear about it. And location is incredibly open too, because they work from home.
Perfect. That was Lynn. Anyone else?
I have to piggyback on Lynn. I know I said this last week, but it's my kid needs a house. So again, outside is really important. Water is their main desire. 2+ bedrooms up to 400,000, anywhere between the Northwest Metro and St. Cloud.
Perfect. Thank you. That was Beth Jackson. Looking for her kid. Want to get him out? All right.
He's out. I want Water to go play at myself.
Oh, this is true. Very true. All right. Who else? What else do we have? Thank you, Jordan. I see Jordan put the link for the Roseville Connect in there. So everybody grab that. You guys, there's some, Lauren's been updating it. It's got a great new look. So there's a lot of good stuff. So hop in there. Do we have anybody else looking for opens, having a listing, looking for buyer needs?
I have a very broad buyer need. I've had several different people looking for second homes, lake homes. So if you, specifically Wisconsin, so if you happen to know somebody that for some bizarre reason has the itch to sell their Wisconsin cabin, no matter, it can be a 2-bedroom, it doesn't matter to us. But if you don't have someone who's looking, anywhere under 400, we have a lot of buyers looking right now. So let me know.
Perfect.
Alina Bear. Sorry.
Woo, you said it for me. Thank you. In case I would say it wrong. All right. Thank you, Alina. Who else do we have?
I'm looking for lakeshore property too. They're really pretty flexible in the location. They kind of want it to be a wow piece of property that they can ski on. So a cleaner lake. Price, I'd say anywhere up to like 700-800. But they're pretty flexible. So if you have anything coming up, let me know. And it's Elizabeth Williamson.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Anyone else? Wow, I talk about perfect timing. It is exactly 10:30. So we are going to end with that unless anybody has anything.
Laurie, can I say something?
Yes, Sherilyn.
I am just in action. If there's no one could have missed you more than I did, because I always run into your office to hug you guys, and I had no idea you guys were sick until someone finally informed me, and then I actually prayed for you guys. I don't usually pray, as my mother will tell you. So I'm so glad to hear both your voices. The two of you make my day. And Lauren, of course, and Hannah.
Thank you, Sherilyn.
Of course. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We had great participation. We really, really appreciate all of you guys. We will have next Tuesday's team meeting, so be sure to watch for information on that. And I will be joining all of you from Ixtapa, but I will probably try and jump on, but I will be in Ixtapa next week and I can't wait. But I will still cut checks at night. So if you have any questions, just pop it into email during the week, but all next week I will be cutting checks in the evening so that you will have them the next day. Thank you everybody for everything you do.
Thank you.